Q was like super turned. Like the crowds, I mean, dude, they were
They
turned.
were hip to
We got
Q.
a DJ this time.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another episode of Lukewarm Soda. I'm Clock. I am here today with Ryan Spicer. Ryan, welcome
What
on.
up?
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
What up?
Today, Ryan Spicer is going to talk a lot about himself and stuff and get the interview going. Ryan, from what I know, is a I'm from Cleveland contributor. And we kind of met through that and stuff, through his content. He creates like photo and video. Am I correct? He recently was on tour with Q Money. I know you guys are aware of him. He's also going few tours, yeah, actually. And he's actually going on tour again with a couple bands here coming up. That's what he said to me.
Yep.
But Ryan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Ryan. Yo, we got to start this interview off with a Corona.
All you got. Here we go. Crack that bitch down. For sure. We actually gonna get something else going too. I brought us a little something here too. We got some fresh popcorn, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Let's crack it down. We got some bowls right here. You know, just to keep the mood going.
For sure.
A little something. Ooh, it's a little buttery for the kids. If you wanna pour a little bit in your shit, go ahead. For sure. Yeah. Alright. Get a little taste of it. For sure. Popcorn started off. Ryan, go ahead. Got the Corona crack. Feeling nice?
That's pretty good.
For sure.
I have popcorn in a minute.
Really? Well, it's movie time. It's movie time, fellas. So yeah, go ahead. Tell the crowd a little bit about yourself, real quick.
So, I started on like this life path when I was 16. And I had this idea to do an event for charity. I don't really know where it came from, but I started thinking to myself, like, okay, my grades are terrible. This was high school, so I'm trying to get into a college like that I can like hang out with cool people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my GPA was below like whatever anybody, like any decent college
Just like
was taking.
average and shit. Right.
It was bad.
Nothing crazy.
It was like a 2-1.
Really?
And so I was like, yo, I heard about this one kid who I don't know who this kid is. I don't know where I heard this, but this kid had done this summer curricular activity where he was building houses for the homeless, and he ended up building like 18 houses. I have no idea if this is true. This is just what I don't know where I heard this from. I have no idea. But I just heard this story of some dude doing it. Somebody must have told me, and that he got a full ride to a school for doing it. So I was like, what the hell? Like, dude, maybe if I do like some extracurricular activity for charity that I can get in like a school.
Right, it would help.
So I was like, okay, what if like I did a concert, like an event, and I started thinking like, what would that take? Like I've only been to one concert in my life at this point.
At this point,
It was a summer jam in Cleveland when it was at Jacobs Pavilion, and I remember Ray Jr. was there and Mano, and like it was crazy. So I literally it was crazy because I didn't know anything about event coordination. I didn't know anybody who could help me. None of that.
Yeah.
I had none of my I'm from Cleveland connections. So when I thought about the logistics of what you need to throw a concert, I was like, okay, well, you need a venue, you need artists, you need like tickets and some marketing and like I was like, what else other than that? Like, so it seemed almost kind of pretty simple at the time. And I started calling around to venues in Cleveland, and I actually called Jacobs Pavilion. And I was like, hey, I want to do this event for charity. Like, how much would it be? And I told them that because my two friends, best friends, their mothers recently had died of breast cancer. So I was like, I want to do this for rest in peace. And I was like, I want to do this for breast cancer.
Okay.
And
Great cause.
She was like, hold up, let me talk to the owner of Jacobs Pavilion. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm literally 16 at this point. I'm about to turn 17. And she calls me back or emails me back and was like, hey, like, he was really into this idea, and he said that I don't know what it was originally, but he's like he'll like decrease the price for the night to $1,000. So I don't know what it was like originally, and there was hidden costs behind that I didn't see. So it ended up being like $14,000 because you have to bring in your own, or they can supply them, but you have to pay them for the lights and the sound, all that.
And but you can like sell tickets and stuff too.
Exactly.
Right?
So I started telling people at my school. I was a junior at the time. And I started telling people.
What high school did you go to?
Ignatius.
Oh,
St.
yeah,
Ignatius High School in downtown Cleveland, Ohio.
Nice shadow there.
Cool. So yeah, like I started telling kids in my class and the class above me, and it like, it's not like I was like a lame, you know what I mean? People like were like making fun of me, but they thought I was crazy, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean, shit, being 16 and fuck, my bad.
Good.
Being 16 and trying to throw an event, let alone like even at Jacobs Pavilion, you know, that's a big spot.
People don't.
Plus, you're talking thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
What's a 16-year-old gonna? How's he gonna do that?
I didn't know. At this point, I didn't know. I was just telling people this is what I want to do. So, because of people like being like, "Yo, you heard what Spicer's trying to do?" Like, because of that, it got to like it went from one person to the next to the next. A lot of people started to know about it, and then I got a call one night. I was at home. My dad was like, "Yo, somebody's on the phone for you," and it was a dude who owned a local breast cancer foundation. Really? Called the Woohoo Foundation.
Wow.
And he was like, "Hey, I heard about your idea, and I want to fund it." And
wow.
he was like,
I was about to say that.
He was like, you can basically like, you can have full like creative control over it. Like, I'm not gonna take your whatever, but I'm gonna put up the money for it, and the money is gonna go to our breast cancer foundation. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what's the budget? He was like, whatever it takes. I was like, that's not a good answer. I was like, what is like the budget? I need like some sort of an answer. He's like, man, whatever it takes. So I was like, okay. I never really knew, but he would basically, I'd send all the contracts to him. He'd sign them and he'd pay whatever it was. So we got the venue for $1,000, and then I needed to get the artist. And at the time, Instagram like didn't really exist.
Yeah,
like it was super infancy if it was even out.
Yeah.
Twitter was like a thing, but it's not as easy. Like these artists, they didn't have like bookings in their email, like in their bios and stuff. So I had to find this. Entertainment booking agent, and I found one that lived in Miami. And when I started talking to him on the phone, he's like, "Okay, where are you from?" I was like, "Cleveland, Ohio." He's like, "Dude, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, my whole life." And I was like, "What?" So
who?
It was this dude Lewis. Can't remember his last name, but he. I actually like went down to when I went down to Miami one time. I actually met him, and he like treated me and a couple of my friends to like a afternoon to lunch out and stuff. And it was kind of surreal because I had been like 2 or 3 years after like this first one, so it was kind of just wild, like meeting him for real. He actually introduced me to like other people like in the future that also contribute to my network for sure. Like he's always been kind of looking out. So yeah, he helped me book these artists. So I got Chip the Ripper and Swayze and Cisco. Cisco actually couldn't come. He ended up getting busy, so it was just Swayze. But it was big because like in grade school, me and all my friends, all we listened to was Chip the Ripper, Swayze, and Cisco. Like 7th and 8th grade. So like for a couple
to get
years,
those dudes on the shit, that's crazy. For your event,
grade school friends were like, "What the hell?" You know what I mean? It was crazy. At Jacobs Pavilion, if you don't know, is a turnt venue. It's 5,000 people. It's outdoors, but it's got like a big tent over it. You should show them
by the water too.
Show them a picture, like a drone. Like I know there's some of that online.
Bougie, toss a picture on the thing. Show them.
For sure.
Jacobs Pavilion shit for sure.
So yeah, that was the first one, right? The second year came around, and so we ended up spending about $42,500. That was like the budget, and we went over the numbers after, like, here's all the hidden costs. Like we had to pay for all the lights and the sound and all this, and like they wanted to downgrade the venue like a lot, and I was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? We have all this momentum. It was a really big success. Like this first one was a big success. So the second one, the only thing was like basically like the investors and stuff, they wanted to bring down the cost, try to maximize on profit. But I was trying to get the point across is like we have this momentum, like we should just
keep it the same. You gonna make more eventually. Like if you keep that like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you downgrade, people gonna notice some things and they not gonna come back.
Right. I didn't want to downgrade.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be getting
if
at least
anything
bigger.
Upgrade.
Right. If anything, upgrade. Exactly. So second year we did the Agora Theater, which was cool. It was like, it was cool. And we got Chief Keef, right?
Shout out Chief, you know.
It would have been Chief Keef's. It was his first time in Cleveland, and so like it got to the point where like we booked him, and like something happened to his daughter like the week before where she was in the hospital for a car accident. I don't know if he was the one driving or what, but like people.
I remember that because he didn't pull up, did he? Or
right.
did he?
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't. Well, he didn't. he pulled up. His tour bus was there. Whether or not he was on it, I never saw him personally. But his tour bus pulled up, but it was too late. And, like, the whole time, like, coming up, like, they're like, oh, like, we're coming, or, oh, we passed it, we got to turn around. So it was like, all right, like, you feel me?
Yeah.
But he had like, a track record for doing it. But at the time, he was, like, the hottest artist. And I had, like, booked him when his price was still pretty low compared to what it was then. And then he was, like, the hottest artist. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, it didn't really emulate what I wanted it to, but I was so young. You know what I mean? Like, the event, like, moving to the Agora and getting Chief Keef, like, a lot of, like, my main fan base the first year didn't come the second year.
Okay. Probably just because venue change and artists.
So, like, people's parents, you know what I mean, didn't want them to go to the event. It almost seemed like more dangerous. But, you know, those are things you live and you learn. You know, feel me? I was, again, these are like, this was my third concert of all time. I was throwing it. You know what I mean? So it's
and
like,
you're
I
still
didn't
young,
really know.
trying to figure shit out too.
Right. And, like, some of my friends, like, I had asked them, like, yo, like, should I get Chief Keef? They're like, dude, if you can get Chief Keef, get Chief Keef. So I was like, okay, I can get him. So this is what's going on. And it was cool. So, you know what I mean? It was a learning experience, and it was a great learning experience. Everything is, I've never looked at anything as a failure.
Oh, always. Anything that you go through or anything, if it's a failure or not, like, I don't even look at it as like a failure.
Right.
It is a learning experience.
Always.
You can always learn and grow from that to do it better next time. It doesn't even matter.
Exactly. So that summer, I was going into college. A bunch of personal problems. I don't know if I should talk about somebody else's problems. You know what I mean? But, like, the point is, like, the investor went through a lot, not because of the event, just personal shit. And he hit me up and he was like, hey, like, because you're going to, so I ended up, because of this, I did get into West Virginia University, which is like, you know, not hard to get into, but if you understood how bad, like, my grades were and stuff, dude, it was huge. Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's dad, went to St. Ignatius and was the athletic director at the time. So I have like
Ignatius?
No, he was the athletic director at West Virginia.
Okay.
So now he's like the vice president of NCAA and stuff. Like, he moved up since then. But so it was perfect timing, and, like, I have a big football family. Like big St. Ignatius football legends in my family. So, like, I basically just wrote a letter and then got co-signed and stuff. Like, yo, this is my nephew, this is my son.
That's a great time right there. So you went to West Virginia, huh?
I went to West Virginia, and it was crazy. So going into West Virginia, that's when I met the I'm from Cleveland team. Like, that summer.
Who'd y'all meet from there?
No, it was in the winter, right before I was about to go in.
Okay.
But I met, like, I went out to lunch, dinner. It was like we hung out because John had hit me up about the Chief Keef stuff. That's when I was interviewed.
Shout out to John Sturza.
John Sturza, my fucking guy. He basically hit me up and interviewed me, and then I found out that all these guys were, like, my age, and I don't know, I felt like I was growing apart from my normal friend group because of the stuff I was into and the stuff I was doing was like, so, like, nobody was really,
it's kind of how it goes,
on the same wave. Even though I tried to get people on the same wave, though, like, yo, like, you could help, you could be a part of it, but people just weren't feeling it because they, you know, it wasn't their shit.
And it's kind of a risk.
So
So John was down in West Virginia?
No. They were still up in Cleveland, but, like, before I went down, like, I just linked with all of them, and I got cool with Connor and John, X, Matitude, all those dudes. So
all good dudes.
So when I went to school and stuff, that was like, that started every time I was home. I'd be with them, and we'd be doing, like, local Cleveland music stuff.
Yeah. So how did that get started? How did I'm from Cleveland get started?
So I'm from Cleveland was
like,
started.
were you there right from the beginning?
No. So this would have been in 2013. I met them. I've been with them. So that is, how long ago was that?
6 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So, and it was started in 2010. And John and Evie.
Wow, so that's going on 10-year anniversary this year.
Yep,
or this coming year.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And John, I think he's putting something together for it. I'm not exactly sure what. I don't even know if he knows what, but it'll be something.
He for sure is. He for sure going to celebrate that. 10 years.
Yep.
The way it's grown, crazy. Shout out. For sure.
Basically, I think it was Evie's concept, if I'm not mistaken. And he, John might have been already doing some sort of online blogging or something. So they kind of, whatever happened, they got together. So they're basically like the co-founders of ImFromCle Cleveland. Evie and John. And then John had friends like X, Connor, Matt.
Okay.
And they
kind of like just recruiting
Bobby,
and stuff.
Bobby's another one, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, Bobby Boucher.
So they were like the original. They started doing the blogs and stuff. So I linked up like almost 4 years later.
Okay.
And it's been 6 years since. So
when you linked up with them, with the I'm from Cleveland, how was like the platform and stuff? Was it like still like not small, but like still on the lowest scale?
Yeah, it was small. It might have had less than. I'm pretty sure it had less than 10. It had to have had less than 10,000
Yeah, I would say that was like
followers.
Yeah, 6 years ago, probably.
Yeah,
they just got 30K, right?
Yeah, it had like maybe like
3,000.
2 or 3. I'm telling you,
Sick.
man. It was early. But the concept was great.
Right.
And it was a good thing for the city, like regardless. And
Absolutely.
there was just benefits, mutual benefits for everybody involved. So, anytime I was home, like I'd be doing something with that. And
that's awesome.
yeah. So basically, then where my journey took me was, I had always wanted to do like another event. That had always been in the back of my mind. And there was people telling me like the only reason you did it is because of the investor, which to me doesn't even make sense because like
not really. It sounded like you had it all planned and stuff.
You're right.
And then the word got passed, and then someone else wanted to get involved with the money.
Yes.
So that only helps you.
Yes,
I
I put it together, man. You know what I mean? Of course, like it's not gonna be just you every time you do anything. But like the point is, like I did it, but it always stuck in the back of my head. So I was like, dude, I need to do it again. And it took me 3 years. It was a junior at West Virginia when I finally because I'd been trying since I was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to the entertainment director. He was kind of playing me. You know what I mean? All that. So
it's hard to get the trust from some people.
Right.
For
so
sure.
Finally, I got like a venue. I got a bunch of sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like was such a dude. I got a bunch of sponsorships, enough to put on the event, right?
So did you make some solid bread from these events?
This event, so it wasn't really like a lot of people do like you'll know like promoters in the city that do like parties and they'll do them like every week. That wasn't really what I was trying to do. I was going for like a concert festival type of like
a big
once
event.
a year kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically like a numbers fest.
Mm-hmm.
And the first year I called it Express Music Fest. The first year of Express Music Fest, I had raised more money than the first year, maybe the first few years of Numbers Fest.
Dang.
Each year, because I think they got like 15,000 for the first year. I got 30,000 my first year.
Wow.
Basically like.
Damn.
I don't know if I want to give them away my bread and butter, but the student housing complexes, man. I was a salesman to them, and I was showing them the opportunity. The one had hit me up, and they're the biggest student housing complex in the country.
Mm-hmm.
The company is, and they had a new building at West Virginia. So like their marketing team saw my Facebook ad for the show, had 130-something thousand views because we put money behind it. You know what I mean? So they had hit me up, and they're like, "Yo, like we want to piggyback off your marketing basically because I'm promoting and marketing to the same demographic that they want to sign leases ASAP. I think the building like was built like a little late, so like they're kind of rushing to get these lease signings.
Yeah.
And because of the tactics that I did, because of like I could do shit that they couldn't because can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I could do shit that they couldn't because
I think you swore already.
I did, but I never was sure. Because I was a student, I could do shit that they couldn't. Like rent out certain spots in certain buildings and stuff like that. Where there's heavy traffic, and even that, the tactic alone was like, dude, they were raking it in because you got to think every person to sign a lease, that's $650 a month for 11 months, so that was like $7,000, and we had at least 10 people come in. They made at least $70,000 revenue.
That's so you was putting in the work since 16. You was seeing how like the business side of everything really developed and stuff. So you gain a lot of knowledge with that.
A lot of
knowledge. Then going to college, boom, accelerated even more.
For sure. It was a knowledge, and it was also like it instilled something in me that like you could do things that you can put your mind to. I feel like a lot of people probably have good ideas or whatever, but they're like, oh, that'll never work. You know what I mean?
Or they try a little bit and they don't see success right away. Like success don't always happens right away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's that extra little push that you need to do, or that the second time you try something, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't always happen right away.
Dude,
people will stop.
I was working so hard.
Wow.
On this third event in West Virginia. Like, I was waking up. Because the time, we were so time crunched. It was almost insane that I did it because at January 1st, the event was April 9th. January 1st, we had
$0.
$0. It was still a concept, January 1st. So in the first 2 weeks of January, we really launched it. And that's when I kind of like started getting the ball rolling. And then like, so I was waking up at 6. I was going to bed at like probably 3. I was getting 3 hours of sleep at night because there's so much. After a certain point, you are liable for like a lot of shit. Right. If you don't come through to a certain extent, you can get sued. Like something could happen, like serious. And so I was grinding so hard, and like I pulled it off. I had like after expenses and stuff, like my money, like the way where I put the money should have been smarter. But that was my first one that I did funding it myself. Okay. So like that was another thing where I had to learn. Yeah, learn how to manage kind of like how to do the financial side of stuff. But it's cool because I broke even and I donated like basically whatever I had left to like the West Virginia Music School, which was something that we had wanted from the jump.
How was the event? How'd the event go?
Well, like so it was originally supposed to be outside, and it was like a really warm year that year. Like it was hot in February. It was 2017. No, 2017? It was 2016. 2016 was super warm.
2016, the Cavs won the championship.
Like it was like one day in February we were wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and then April 9th, I was like, dude, in April it's gonna be fucking lit. April 9th, I'm looking at the weather the week before, and I'm like, dude, it is about to be a blizzard and cold and shit. It was like the last cold week and maybe even the cold day of the year. So it was crazy, super bad luck. So I was like, okay, I gotta innovate. Right. And I talked to the 2 biggest clubs the week before, and they were right next to each other. There's an alley in between. And I was like, I had connections. My stage guy knew the one, worked for the one, did hit their license on there. And then one of my promoters knew the owner of the other. And so I got meetings through them with both the owners, and they both agreed to it.
Wow, literally the week of?
Yes, like 7 days before. So it was like it had to happen though, because like the outside venue was like 15 minutes away, and it was gonna be freezing. But this was right downtown, and I was like, okay, whoever bought like a ticket could just get a wristband, and they could just go back and forth. One was kind of like a club, more like an EDM vibe, and or like a rap. Like the other one was like we had bands too. The other one was like I had a stage with a drum set, and like the band who was playing that night there, like later on, let us use like their drums, and like people needed drums. Right. So that was cool. So it all worked out, and I don't know, it got kind of confusing. It wasn't like a smash hit, but it worked.
I mean, you had to innovate at the last second with the weather. You couldn't really help that.
Right. And another thing is that down in West Virginia, it's a college town. So when I'm looking for people to help me, like, or if I'm thinking long term of like people who could be on board for a long time, it's almost impossible because people are in and out. Right. And a lot of people there don't even make it 4 years. So it's not like Cleveland where I can call on the I'm from Cleveland team.
So it's hard to like find like someone that's sustained and like.
But get this. There was this one guy that helped me out because he liked Ezzy, who's now Esri. Really, shout out to Esri. Really big fan of this dude. So he was like, yo, you got Esri coming? I was like, yeah. Like, so he was like an opener, you feel me? Like he wasn't even like, we had Ray Jr. I brought down a lot of Cleveland people like Lost Tribe, EV, whatever. But yeah, he was a huge Esri fan of his interviews on Sway. So he helped me out a lot on the promotion side. And when I linked with Q, I went to this publication in New York. It's a big one. I can't remember it at the top of my head. Audio Mac.
Oh, okay.
And we walked into Audio Mac.
He in there?
And he's working there.
What?
And we looked at each other, and his hairdo was different. He had like braids. And his name was also Ryan.
Oh, okay.
So we looked at each other, we're like, yo, what's good? It's Q and like the Think It's a Game record label. They're looking around like, how the hell do they know each other? I was like, yo, I went to school with this dude. Like, we didn't get into details about it. But so basically that happened. But I took that year off of school to do that. My junior year of college, I took it off. So I went back senior year. You know what I mean? I'm still there. So I didn't really go back. I just went back to school.
Just signed up for classes.
Yeah. And you know, so I went through senior year, and then I did summer classes that year, and I still had like a whole nother fucking year because I was just not taking a lot of credits, or I didn't pass like all my classes or whatever. So I still had like another year, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna stay here when all my friends are leaving now. Right. So then I came back home. I started taking classes at home, and I started getting like more and more involved with I'm from Cleveland at that point. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a huge help to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how we all got connected and stuff. I remember meeting you probably like over a year ago now.
With Cap.
Yeah, probably at like the bar or something, probably Barley House.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
first met.
Yep.
And then we had a great time at EST Fest this past summer.
Dude, it was lit. This summer's gonna be lit too.
Yeah, for sure. Summer's gonna be lit. Yeah, I could see the growth with I'm from Cleveland. With you went on fucking tour, dude. I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, man. So
talk about tour, man. I want to hear about the tour life. Go ahead.
So yeah, man. Like,
well, how'd you first get connected with Q, and then?
So I was taking these classes, and I was taking them in Cleveland. So I was doing on behalf of I'm from Cleveland, going to like a bunch of these events. So me and John, I first met Q, for the first time because I had heard of Q, and Q had reached out to the I'm from Cleveland, but in the past, like when he was first coming up, like with this song that it wasn't on any of his tapes. I can't remember what it's called. I kind of remember the artwork, but I remember seeing it and thinking like, oh, dude, this is, you know what I mean? This is another random guy. We have like hundreds of people hitting us up every day. So it's like, all right, this is just another dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then between that time and the time that I first met him, he had dropped Work, and the Work music video started to go.
I remember that.
Never Had Shit was out. The song, not the mixtape. And so I met him for the first time at Wild and Out. He signed, I think it's Game Records at the time. And YFN Lucci was opening up for Wild and Out. So he brought Q and Doughboy on. I don't know how Doughboy really got on. He might have went through Waka or some shit. But
Doughboy be showing up at random places like, oh, okay, that's lit. Like, you just don't know how he got there, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He be connecting. Bigger and bigger all the time. He be knowing people all over the place where it's like, you know, he'll fucking pop up. Like, he gonna pop up in a Drake video, like, in a couple weeks or something. Be like, oh, shit, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm a big Doughboy supporter.
That's what he be doing. But
so, yeah, that, like, after, like, the Wild and Out, like, within the next month or a few weeks, like, there was, like, 4 or 5 events that I was at. And because I'm from Cleveland, like, we can basically get any event, like, passes, all access, anything, like, on stage, whatever. Yep. So John introduced me to Q at Wild and Out, and then, like, the next 3, 4, 5 events, it was just me, and I'd be on the stage, and then Q would show up. Like, it was, like, they were, like, he was opening up for the event, or it was like, he was, like, the headliner of the event or whatever. So we'd always see each other and be like, oh, what's up? You know what I mean? Because we remembered each other from the first time, but it wasn't until this whiteout event at the House of Blues when I met, like, his manager at the time, Cam, and Cam was, like, there was also, I think Moneybagg Yo brought Q out, but K-Camp was also at the show, and through Think It's a Game, like, there's a connection with K-Camp as well. Right. And so that was kind of talking with, I got cool with K-Camp's manager, and I got cool with Q's manager. And so, like, a month or two after that, probably like a month after that, Q was going on tour with YFN Lucci, and they didn't have a camera guy. Happened. They didn't have a camera guy.
He reached out.
So they called me, and they're like, hey, matter of fact, no, I take that back. At first, I knew that I really wanted to shoot for Q, and he had showed in the past, like at Double Xmas MGK's event at Wolstein, that like he like
the Christmas one?
Yes, like Q like took my camera, he was like checking it out, he's like, oh dude, this is a nice camera, all this stuff. So he was kind of showing interest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just didn't want to say anything yet.
Right.
But the first show, I called. We had like this connect. I'm not even gonna say his name because it's weird. But we had this connect, and I called him, and I was like, "Yo, man." Okay. There was something before that though. This connect called me.
All right.
So this guy called me and was like, "Hey, I'm doing this Q Money's merch." It ended up being kind of like a Fugazi deal, but he was like, "Hey, I want you to film it. Can you come here right now?" So I just walked in the gym with my boy Pat O'Shea, who's part of I'm from Cleveland now. I brought him on the I'm from Cleveland team.
Shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat, my boy, since grade school.
Wow.
So we like I turned around. I was like, yes, I'll be there. So boom, we filmed this video, and like that's when we got like that's when I got cool with Q, because we were in these rooms for like hours and hours and hours, so then he went on tour, and I was like, yo, I want to go link up with Q in New York. If I go, can you guarantee me that I can get in? Like, so he was like, yeah, I'll call him. So Q was like, I guess he was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I got in contact with the manager, and I was like, yo, I'm going to come out there. And he's like, bet. Like, I was like, if I come out there, you know what I mean? I'm driving from Cleveland. Like,
don't dog me. Like,
yeah, am I good? He was like, dude, I got you. So I was like, all right, bet. So me and Pat went out to New York at SOB's, and we walked in, and we were good. And then Q was like so happy to see us. Yeah. It was like, dude, I cannot believe you guys came out here, because he didn't have a camera guy.
Yeah, he probably was like, wow, like he fucks with me, like.
Yeah, he was like, dude, these guys believe in me. He was blue for real.
Really?
He was blue for real. And that's so like he was looking out. So we went from New York. He let us stay like with him that night, and we went from New York to Boston the next day. And like that was crazy. I remember when y'all were
in Boston, you posted them pictures with at the Celtics facility and shit.
Yep, that was term, because Lucci's the GOAT. For real, like
Lucci raw.
He's raw. He been made it. Like he made it for real.
Is he a cool dude?
He's a cool dude, man. He's a really cool dude. He's fly. I've never seen anybody swag like Lucci.
Really?
For real.
Wow.
He's dating Reginae Carter. He was back then too. So like when we would be on the tour bus filming with Q, it'd be Lucci, it'd be Reginae Carter, which was like mind blowing. And then at the time, Drake had just dropped one of his songs, man. I can't remember. He's dropping so many hits.
Which one? Was it the album?
It was a single. What's his big single like last year?
In My Feelings?
No.
The Nice one for What?
Yes, Nice for What?
With Murda.
So like that song just came out, and when like there was somebody had like a speaker on the bus, when that came on, like I was just looking at Reginae Carter go ham, because you know what I mean? Like, it was dope.
Called it.
It was dope, man. She wasn't really twerking, but like she was. No, but it was just I remember just looking around like, all right, this is like really cool.
Right.
This is dope.
Just on some, whoa, this fucking reads, dude.
Fatboy SSE was on the tour. Dang, he was hosting the tour.
He funny as a motherfucker.
He was cool as fuck, man. He was cool. He was really funny. His crew was funny. He had a whole gang of dudes that would just go crazy.
That's
like,
right. He did go on tour with him. That's funny, bro.
So yeah, it was just crazy, like to be there with these people. Like from Cleveland, like these people were bigger than a lot of people from Cleveland. Like if you count the followers, you know what I mean? Like a lot of like people. Nobody from Cleveland had like 5 million followers at the time. I don't even know if anybody from Cleveland has 5 million followers, unless you count like LeBron. But I never
probably just
been kicking it with LeBron. So yeah, man. Then we did that tour, and then that was our first time on that tour. That was me and Q's first time at Warner Brothers. And Think It's a Game was kind of like pitching to Warner Brothers, Q Money, YFN Lucci, this other artist I have, Pasa, and like their team. And you know how like Cash Money linked with Universal back in the day? Like it was a legendary deal.
Yeah.
Birdman signed for like 30 M's.
Yep.
It's kind of what it was, but new school version. And Q got up on the table, started dancing and stuff. Like we're in Warner Brothers Records, you know what I mean? And they actually just moved locations, like headquarters, like in the last 2 months. So like that legendary, like their original location, like we were one of the last artists.
Really?
Where'd
they move to?
They moved like I don't know, down the street probably.
Oh,
it's
just
probably
to
still
another
in Burbank,
building, same area.
Yeah, like same area, but that was like an OG building, and so yeah, like that was super cool because like a month after that, they officially signed this deal with Think It's a Game. They signed YFN Lucci, they signed Pasa, they signed Q Money, and Q made sure that I got a deal.
Yeah, I remember talking to you at EST Fest about it. I think that's right when you signed a deal or something.
Yep.
With Time Warner, or not Time
Warner. Yeah, it would have been Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
It would have been in August, so yeah.
Yeah. That was right there. Yep.
So shout out to Q Money, man, for that. Like, wow. That was big. That opened a lot of doors, you know what I mean?
For sure, man. You went on fucking tour with YFN Lucci and Q and Fatboy SSE shit. You went around the world or around the country and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's got to open something up. Yeah, a lot of music videos. After that point, after that first tour, that was like me and Q. Basically, from that point on, we were rocking. Mm-hmm. And how was your relationship with Q? It was really good. Through the process. It was really good. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. He like I can't say anything bad about him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he was like a really cool dude. We were both the same age, born in '95 from Cleveland, Ohio.
95
So,
too.
hell yeah. So you know what I mean? There wasn't that many differences.
All right.
Like at the bottom, you know, at the end of it, he was, you know, he's smart
Yeah.
and talented as hell.
Mhm. Yeah, I met him like twice. You know, genuine dude. Went to Euclid High School. A couple of my
Yeah.
bros went there too. You know, when the news broke, it was like shocking. Like I just didn't really believe it at first. But I hope everything's going well with that. Did that news kind of affect you or personally or anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It took me weeks to process.
You didn't believe it at first, did
I
you?
mean, I did. I believed it,
Mhm.
but I didn't know how to process it yet
Right.
because
It was more like a thought sitting there, and you know you go on with your day, and you're like, whoa, like fuck, like did that really just happen? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Kind of like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like it was very. I knew it was life changing
Life changing.
because at that point, I talked to him that day. You know what
Wow.
I mean? He FaceTimed me right before he went out, and he goes, "Yo, Ryan, we about to turn up, bro. We about to turn up," because he had just filmed 6 music videos the week
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
So then like, his tape was dropping 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So he was just letting me know, like, we're going on the top, bro. Like, hope you working. I was. You know what I mean? We were super tight relationship. So,
Right.
yeah, that was the night he FaceTimed me, and I was home kicking it, working on some video, and he had like an event that night in Atlanta, and so yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You went on tour to do, you was with him every day, and then something like that happens, you're just like, you know, like I can't like imagine like what you would be feeling.
big plans for the future. Like, he was going to the top. Every artist wanted to work
Bro,
with him.
his come up was crazy. Crazy.
Why do you think so?
I mean,
I agree. I just want to hear it.
for one, I didn't really hear of him from the beginning. And then all of a sudden, getting on the scene. Then all of a sudden, he's on tour, going to all these record deals and stuff, record labels and stuff. I remember he went to, besides Warner Brothers, he went to, what's the other ones? Didn't he go to, what's the one, Bougie? I don't remember.
We went to like
He went to a couple of them.
we went to a bunch of publications. Like, we went to SoundCloud, Spotify,
Yeah, I remember him
Billboard.
going Billboard.
all that. Double XL. Like, we went to every
Double XL. He
publication.
had to shoot for
New
that
York
shit.
and
He was
LA.
nominated for that. Yeah, like I seen it come up like right in front of my eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Cleveland. I'm following you, and you
Yeah.
just see the process. Boom, boom, boom. Like, oh shit, Spicer's in another city. Look, story. Post this video. Atlanta video. Boston video. New York. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just see it right in front of your eyes. And
For
it
sure.
wasn't even. It was not even a year, right?
No,
Not
it
even
was,
a year.
It was since what?
Since when did he go on tour?
It was over a year since we went on tour.
Oh, has it been?
Yeah. And we had been working for like a year and a half.
Okay.
But
It seems like it's been a year. Well,
yeah.
not from now. Probably till like a couple, 2-3 months ago or something like that. He was on tour like end of summer this past year, wasn't he? Was that when?
beginning of
end of summer towards winter?
end of September, I think it was. Or
To the winter?
till end of November.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that was the G Herbo tour.
Mhm.
That was the Sorbo tour, which
Right.
we opened up for.
Yeah, that was dope too.
So
which, which tour did you like better? Or have a better experience, would you say?
Dude, the Swervo tour,
Yeah.
the second one, and it was crazy because I was the only person, including the manager. Like I had gotten a new manager between the first and the 2nd one.
Mhm.
We still fuck with Cam, but he was looking for a certain type of guy, and he had expressed it to me over and over again. This is the kind of guy I want. And 2 months later, like, that guy, his name is Rick, walked into our lives. Got introduced through Think It's Game connections,
Mhm.
and he was everything that Q had wanted. And he had done a lot. He had worked for Def Jam in the past. He had done a lot. Worked with Alicia Keys. That's how we got in the game. He's from New York. He's older than me, Q,
Mhm.
in his 30s. And just he's a fly dude. He's smart. We fuck with Rick. So
That's dope.
yeah, like, I was the only one that saw the first tour and the second tour.
Okay.
And it was very crazy to see that the first tour.
Progress.
Yes, man. I had never been in a mall ever, even during the first tour in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
Like, somebody came up to us, like, yo, you're Q Money. And, like, I was like, damn. Like, I had never not been to a mall where somebody didn't come up to Q. And, like, even in the earlier days. By the second time, but then, like, the shows on the first tour, you can tell, like, a couple people knew work in the crowd. People, like, there'd be, like, a couple guys, like, you know what I mean? But, like, the whole crowd, like, they weren't really hype about it. And Q wasn't as choreographed as he was for the second one. And he was a little more timid because, you know, people didn't know his stuff as much as the second time. But the second one, when that came around, Neat had been out and was being played on radio stations across the country.
Everywhere, bro. I heard that song everywhere. Every club,
still
radio station.
Still is. So, yeah, man, G Herbo, being on tour with G Herbo was lit. And Southside was on the tour, you know, the producer.
Yep.
And he's got, like, songs and stuff. So, like, for the first
they had
part
a whole
of the tour,
tape together.
Yeah.
Swervo.
Right. And so, like,
that shit was fire, by the way.
It would go Q, even though Q was, like, super turned. Like, the crowds, I mean, dude, they were turned.
They were hip to Q.
We got a DJ this time. We had we brought friends this time, so he had, like, hype man. You know what I mean? My video game was, like, getting better all the time.
Right.
So we had a new manager. Like, our team was, like, really coming together. Me and Q would talk about it a lot. He was like, man, like, I've been trying to build this team, man. He's like, man, I think I got it. I was like, dude, you got it. Like, we got it. And so, like, he was more turned than Queen Key, who was turned, though. I'm not going to say anything more from her, but she's from Chicago. She might be, I don't know if she signed to Herbo or they're signed to the same label, but something like that. And so Q was, there was this dude who signed to Uzi who was first. Can't remember his name, not important. It was him, Q, Queen Key, Southside, Herbo. And then along the tour, Queen Key started dropping off. She didn't, like, join a lot of dates. And then Southside, he was, like, he's running his own label. You know what I mean? He's busy enough. So he left. So, like, we were right before Herbo for, like, probably half the tour, which was cool. And
prime slot.
Yeah. And he was just a really cool dude, and he looked out for Q a lot. And he gave me a lot of really cool, like, clips, you know what I mean, in the camera, talking about Q or, like, whatever, and talking about the tour. So that was just really dope. And it was like we were really a part of this tour. Like, the last tour, like, the first tour, like, we were kind of, like, in a car following the buses. You know what I mean? Yeah. This time, like, we had a bus. We had Airbnbs every city. We didn't stay in hotels. We stayed in Airbnbs every city. And, like, they were turned Airbnbs. And so every night, bro. So it was like, wow. Like,
you got any epic stories, or, you know what I'm saying, some shit you gonna remember from these Airbnb nights or tour life, whatever, you know?
Dude, we had a lot of crazy nights.
Tell one story. It's one story. Just one.
Okay. Let me think. There was this wasn't in the Airbnb, but this was on one of the last dates. We were driving from one city to the next, and we stopped off at literally advertised the world's biggest truck stop. And it was like, you go inside and it was ginormous. Okay. And it was like in the middle of, nowhere. It was like country, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we walk in there, and there's just, it's huge. It's like a Walmart, but it's a gas station.
Right.
For real. And
damn.
There had been an altercation between one of our promo guys and one of the entourage that we were with. And I can't remember how it started, but there was like some shoving going on in the bus. And the promo guy, he got like a little scared. So he walked out the bus and like walked away. And we're like, the manager is like, what is going on? Like all this stuff. All of a sudden, there was like surrounding us like 6 cop cars in this gas station. Like we were like parked next to the pump and stuff. And like we're being surrounded by cops. He called the cops on us. Our promo guy called the cops on us.
He called the cops?
Yes, man. Knowing damn well that like people could go to jail. You know what I mean? And dude, we were wherever the world's biggest truck stop is. I can't remember what city it's in, but it's in the nowhere in the Midwest somewhere. And like, he didn't want to come home with us, like the promo guy. So he was like, "Fuck this."
He was
And I
calling
think he
it
was like,
quits?
I think he was scared for his life. He had to have been. When you call the cops on like somebody who you've been
What the
touring
fuck?
the last
What was
25
he
days
tripping
with,
about? Like, what were they arguing about?
he was.
Once it got pretty damn serious.
Yeah, it was over some like unimportant shit. But like once there was shoving, you know what I mean? Somebody
Oh, they
like the
started,
other dude
like-
was like way bigger than him.
Right.
So like he got shoved from the back of the bus to like to the front windshield. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like not having it. I think he was scared and he didn't want to come back on like the last few dates with us or whatever. So he called the cops, and like that turned into like a big thing. And we ended up talking ourselves out of it or whatever. And he had to he was stuck there. Like we left the promo guy.
Right. He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't trying to come back on, was he?
No, he wasn't. So like they got the labels and stuff booked him a flight back home, but I think there was a problem with like there's no like Ubers or Lyfts out there, so he had to like somehow finesse. Yeah, I think he was stuck at that thing for like a long time, and like it was a pain in the ass for him. But like the cops ended up being like Q Money fans by the end of the thing, and like we had these Q Money $100 bills, Q money, and like they were like, oh, like can we have that? We got kids that listen to rap and like all this stuff. Wow. So it was like cool. It was like all right, cool.
Got him hip for real.
Yeah,
wow,
no, it was lit.
Up.
So yeah, there's a bunch of stories. We got a bunch of stories with girls. Wild nights like that, you know what I mean? We don't get, you know what I mean? We won't get into that.
We won't get into that.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of good times though, man. A lot of recording sessions and stuff on the road.
Recording right on the bus and shit.
No, like just studio sessions, like with either really cool places or with really cool people, like
when you pull up into a city, link up at the studio type shit.
Yeah, man, we linked up with Casanova in New York at the same studio that Tupac got shot.
Wow.
We walked in, like the guy, we're like, yo, Tupac got shot here? And he was like, yeah. We were like, where at? He was like, right here. And it was like right in front of the elevator. And he told us like when we were on, then we walk on the elevator. It's like a skinny hallway. A lot of these New York buildings, there's like skinny hallways, and you walk down and there's an elevator at the end. And he was like that's when he told us. And it was like a few of us on the elevator with this guy. He was like, yeah, like he got shot right here. And he crawled onto the elevator because he was going up to do a studio session. Somebody like came in down this hallway and pow, pow. And he's like, he made it onto the elevator, pushed 4, and like the door opened, and like that, the people at the front desk at the studio like saw Pac, and like that's why they took him to the hospital. And he later died like a couple days later at the hospital or whatever. But that's where he got shot.
Wow!
And,
right on the elevator you were on.
Like yes, when he was telling us the story, we were on the elevator. Me and Q, we were looking at each other like
tripping.
What? Like we're in it right now.
Right there, like
right now, man. And
that's a memory right there. That's a moment. Man.
We went to we linked up with Meek Mill on tour. Meek Mill was fucking with Q Money. We linked up with Lil Uzi at the studio. We didn't do a song together, but they showed each other unreleased songs. I think Uzi's had since come out, but it was cool like at the time. And Uzi, like you know what I mean. This was a really intimate setting. There was not a lot of people in the studio, and I was not allowed to record.
What was Uzi on?
He was a really cool person. And he was just showing like his side of like he is a person. He was really funny, man. And he's a real person, you know what I mean? Like somebody like him, like they're so big, they're almost like so rock star that it's like too hard to like think of them as just like a normal guy. Right. But like, dude, he is like a really cool, like ultimately like a normal guy, but a rock star, and he deserves it. That kind of stuff. Yeah, man. A lot of like
That's
parties at Airbnbs and stuff, and then it's crazy. So since Q got locked up, timing is crazy. It was crazy getting with Q, and it's crazy. Like everything's been crazy. I felt like my whole life, like timing has been on point, and I feel like I don't know if this happens to you. And I like one of the first times we DM'd, I was looking at it. It was one of those times, man.
What?
Where you hit me up, and it was on 9/11. Me, Q, and his manager were on a press run in Pittsburgh, and I was staying in room 911.
You shit me?
On 9/11, you DM'd me, and you were like, you said something like, "Oh man, that's like something like I don't think this is exactly how you worded it, but like that's like an omen or some shit, or that's crazy, or like wow. Something like almost like it was negative." And a lot of people had DM'd me that day, like, "Oh, dude, that's bad luck. That's bad luck." But I was like, nah, like I get these weird signals all the time, sometimes on a weekly basis, dude, like that I'm in the right place at the right time. Like when I'm feeling like, dude, like I'm getting like kind of self-conscious about like, yo, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Like I'll just get these signs.
Like Drake said, so reminders are key.
Subtle reminders, like you were at the right place at the right time.
You know
man.
what I'm
like,
saying? Right here. Subtle reminders
oh,
are key.
that's
You feel me?
turn. I might need to get some. Like that, man. I don't got any tattoos, man. What you think?
No tattoos?
No, I always think about getting them though, but I just don't know what I get.
You gotta get tatted up, man.
Where should I get tatted, man?
You gotta get like, shit, I'm from Cleveland logo or something, bro.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I mean, shit, start off smooth, you know. I would say like something with yourself. If it's your initials, birth year, your sign.
1995 would be cool.
I got 95 on my right arm, you know, little shit.
That's cool. There have been times where like I wanted to, but like the other people didn't want to. Like there were times where like we were in New Orleans at one time, and I was like, he was in a hotel, and I was like, yo, bro, we should go get let's go get a tattoo, dude. And he wasn't really. I think he was like tired. He was going to bed, so I ended up going to a casino and losing a fuck ton of money.
Dang.
And Lucci's manager was in there too, and I don't know. He got a reputation for like gambling, and he was in there too. So as I walk in, he was the first person I saw. There was like several casinos in the city too.
Right.
It was kind of crazy, but yeah. And then so the crazy part about the timing with Q getting locked up was like it was almost perfect timing for me to go on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not with the labels. Like I haven't really talked with Warner Brothers yet, and I will on this tour in the next couple of weeks when I'm out there. I'm gonna reach out to them.
Talk about the tours you going on coming up. What who you linking with? Who you going on tour with?
I'm going on a tour with it's this band The Catching, and the manager of The Catching. How I got linked up with them was the manager of The Catching is from Akron, and he used to manage Drake Bell.
Oh,
remember
wow.
Drake Bell?
Yeah, I'm hip to Drake
And
Bell.
so like
He was just in Cleveland this past year.
Yep. And so he got us like linked in. He got us like to a show or whatever, and like just kicking it with Drake Bell like a couple times, and then one time like he got us to dinner, me, Connor, him, and Drake Bell at dinner.
Really?
I'm sitting here.
You went
Drake
to dinner
Bell
with
is
Drake
right
Bell?
across from me, and like I'm like, yo, like I'm like, what the
And
fuck?
you watched Drake and Josh when you were
all
younger.
the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up, man,
For
all the time. I'd come
sure.
home from school, I'd grab like some fucking celery or peanut or like celery and peanut butter or pretzels and peanut butter or like.
It was on at like
snack.
4:00 in the afternoon to like.
Yes,
6.
man, and I fucking watched that shit every day, and it was just crazy being like, if somebody would have told me back then, I'm not just gonna run into this guy and be like, yo, can we get a picture? I'm at dinner with him, and he's right across from me, and like we're taking each other dead serious. You know what I mean? That shit was cool as fuck.
Wow.
That shit was cool as fuck. And they broke up. Or whatever. They just like separated, went their own different ways. And he got with this band called The Catching. Who like a bunch of young dudes. I think most of them, if not all of them, are from New Jersey. And they all live in a house in LA. And they were signed to like a label. And had these managers kind of like going down like this boy band route, and I guess that wasn't really them. So like they had sent me some unreleased songs the other day, like 4 of them, and I think they're good, man. Like they're good, and a couple of them.
What kind of?
It's like alternative.
Alternative.
Yeah, it's like alternative.
Okay.
And these new songs made me like really excited because like the first ones were kind of like pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like boy bandy. But these other songs are like, damn, like they weren't fucking around. Like they really want to be like rock stars. And so they kicked that other management out. They have like an investor out there who lives in the hills. And so I'm about to meet all these people in a week. And I mean, we've been texting. We're in a group chat and stuff. I call a couple of the members and stuff. And me and the manager are super cool.
How long is the tour?
The tour is 28 dates.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike the Q tour, it's like there's breaks in between each leg. Like at least a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks in between like each leg. So the first is the West Coast leg, and we go all up and down California, Arizona, Seattle, Denver, Portland, and then there's some time in between the shows too. The thing with the Q tours it'd be like a different show every day, maybe one day off. You know what I mean? This one kind of has like it's a little different. It's gonna be a different vibe. Different venues, although I noticed a couple of venues are the same. Like the Atlanta one called the Masquerade, me and Q did that twice. And then there was another one that I recognized on the tour that we had done before. But there's like some really dope venues on the tour. But like in Cleveland, like I had never done a show at Beachland Ballroom.
Really?
That's where we're at, Beachland Tavern or whatever it's called.
When do they come here?
This is it's in the middle, so it'll be in the end of July, I think.
Wow. So it's kind of like the summer tour. When does it end?
It ends in September.
Okay.
But luckily, like right after we get back on one of the legs, we get back and then like 3 days later is EST Fest.
Wow. So back
So
just
I'm
in
like,
time. So you about to pull up?
Of course, man.
For
I was looking
sure.
at the dates, like, yo, like if it's going over that, dude, I don't even know, man. I might have to fucking
Yeah.
just bounce on the
You'll
tour
be
for a couple days.
sick. Nah, for
No,
sure.
yeah, I
That
couldn't
worked
bounce on
out
the
well,
tour,
like
but-
you said. It all works out well.
Yeah, man. So it's gonna be different because it's just a different vibe. Venues are different, members are different, and on top of that, like I've upgraded some of my equipment. I just bought a drone the other day for the first time, and
Wow.
I flew it like yesterday for a little bit, and I kind of got the hang of it. Thank God I practiced because like I was like looking at my thing and I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I bring it back and I put my SD card in my computer and I was like, yo, I forgot to press record. Yeah, so it was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah, like so.
Yeah, drones are dope for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about that. Like, I'm just trying to grow. Like, I feel like I'm at like the peak of my video and photo making abilities.
There's always room to grow, man.
And
Just
like,
keep it
there's
pushing.
there's so many things I feel like I that weren't right to do at the time because we were still just getting meshed in with like the people and like the, you know what I mean, everything. But now it's like there's other certain things that I've started to do, like even like tips and tutorials and shit like that on my YouTube channel that I feel like are big because like at the end of the day I just want to like impact, like I want to like impact a kid that was like me at 16. You know what I mean? That's like, dude, like, I don't know. I really want to do this shit. But, like, no, all these people are like, dude, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I want to be like that, like, a light for somebody like that to be like,
Trying to
oh,
stand
no.
out for sure.
Like, keep going after that shit. Like, something will happen.
Yeah, YouTube is
one way or another.
YouTube is a great platform to learn shit. Like, it's a great thing to go to learn anything. You can learn anything on YouTube. And, you know, it could teach you way more than anything else. That's what
100%. I learned camera, like anything to do with camera, off of YouTube. And when I first started, I was so bad. I was really bad when I first started working with Q. Like I was like above, like super basic. And there was so much I brought to the table. Like I'm from Cleveland. Like that was the thing about the team members on Q's team was like every member was more than just what they were doing. You know what I mean? And it was like the most amount of value packed into one person, and that was the camera guy, that was the manager, that was, you know what I mean, whoever was on his team.
Makes sense.
It was like you had to have connections, you had to have like a sense of business, you had to have like past experiences, and you had to have a job in that group. So even though I was not that good, Q kind of like saw that I brought more to the table than just that, so he allowed me to grow. And he, like, we talked several times, he's like, this is your main job though, you have to get better at this because this shit is cool, but ultimately if you can't bring this up, then you know what I mean, like
and by doing something like consistently, you're gonna eventually get better and figure new shit out and continue to fucking consistently grow.
I was getting better like week by week for real, and like I still
sure.
am. So like it's crazy that like if what happened like a month, 2 months later, like me and Q were still rolling, and then something happened, and this band was on tour. I never would have been on tour with the band. It was like the perfect amount of time for like that the band and the managers to convince the investor to get me on to the tour and like all that. And it was crazy that like it was crazy that like even like working out that I get to go to Florida. You know what I mean? Before the tour. Tomorrow morning I go to Florida, and then like by the end of the week, like I fly from Florida to California to catch the first date, and like it's just timing is scary good, man.
I wanna hear afterwards that tour life, the difference between going on tour with a rapper to kind of an alternative band. You know what I'm saying?
There was this band like that I was really excited to like get to know and shit, and called Cemetery Sun. And like they're kind of OGs, like all the bands are verified on social media or whatever. But Cemetery Sun, they're signed to like a label that has like a really interesting history. And so I was like, damn, like these are dudes that I really want to get connected with as well, even though like they're just kind of opening for us or whatever. It was kind of like a combined thing, but it was really the Catchings tour. And I guess they had dropped out. The main singer needs like surgery, like on his like throat or something. So like it was kind of like I'm kind of kind of unfortunate. I think they like filled in some other bands. I think they were only gonna be with us on the West Coast anyways, but I think they got like some other replacement bands. But they were like some people who've been in the game.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Tour coming up with a couple bands for sure, going out to California. So with the tours and stuff,
Yeah.
I really want. Did I say this already? I really want to hear the difference between the rapper tour and the band tour.
Dude, I can't wait. It's gonna be so crazy. And like the thing about like this band and stuff is like I feel like I can impact them like a lot.
Mhm.
And I think I'm gonna be like the best, one of the best investments, if not the best investment that they made thus far, because they don't have a content guy. So for me to come in, like I can make their page super clean, and they got like 191,000 likes on their Facebook page. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're verified, like, and they're not signed to a label right now. You know what I mean? Like the same A&R from Warner Brothers that signed Q Money, YFN Lucci is the same one that signed Wale and Rick Ross.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
these people that would do anything for me for real, even
Right.
if it's just listen to this band. And I wouldn't do it until the time is right. But like the fact that I can do that with a label like Warner Brothers is
Exactly.
big for this band and getting like the content side together, because they've never had a content guy. So like getting the look together.
Right, you could probably show them a bunch of new things that they weren't even like hip to, like to even do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then like you can help them grow and impact them a way that they've never had before.
For
And
sure.
That's huge.
And,
That's
like,
huge.
this is their first headlining tour. So
Perfect.
like I feel like
Kill it.
and
Just
they're
kill it.
they're younger than me. You know what I mean? So like
Are they really?
yes. So by like one of them just
Are they
turned
based out of
20.
Cali?
Yeah, now they are. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're originally from New Jersey. At least a couple of them
Okay.
are. But it's so I feel like kind of like a vet. You know what I mean? I've been on a couple nationwide tours already, not counting all the press runs we did across the
Right,
country.
you can show them the ropes a little bit, city to city, show them the strip
Yeah.
club, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And like
Show
me
'em
and
what's
Q,
up with all
me and
that
Q
shit.
did it all, man.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Q
we
was
know-
probably on go with all that shit.
I know how to have fun. I know how to work, man, but I know how to have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Gotta
Like,
get the job done.
I'm
gotta
gonna
get the work
grind
in.
my ass off. It's gonna be some of the best video content I ever made, especially with the drone. But like,
Hey, can't wait to see.
dude, I
Can't
like,
wait to see.
Like I'm gonna make sure that they rock star it out like true rock stars. And like,
Shit, if you can make them grow crazy, that's
like
that's
there's
something
like
right there.
some aspects to it too that like I understand how fragile like opportunities like this are. You know what I mean? Like to get to travel the country and get paid for it, and have everything paid for on top of that.
gotta take advantage of it.
You got to take advantage of it. And like when I was with Q, I was like, dude, we are gonna go around the world. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, oh shit, I don't even know what I'm gonna like. The couple weeks after, like I didn't even know what I was gonna do, and it worked out so perfectly that I had a California trip planned. So like a few days later, I was out in California. I was at Jacob Paul's house. I was at MGK's birthday party.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You know what I mean? Like
I was gonna ask you about
like,
that too, how that was.
It was crazy. I'll tell you a story from that.
All right, go ahead.
So we were at this seafood sushi place, Tao, in California, and we had a table. Me, Connor, Evie, Kumar, like all these people, and then MGK's was like basically like right next to ours, and so we ate there. Evie was the DJ for the party, so he left a little early. He was at my table, and then we left before Kel's table, and so when we got there, we were still like super early. Like there wasn't really anybody there. They rent, so I guess every year like MGK he rents out like a house in the hills, and we were at like the top of the hills in Beverly Hills in this mansion, and we walk in. We're one of the first people there, and there's a bar. There's a few levels. There's a bar, and me and Connor walk up to the bar. I was like, yo, let's get a drink. So like to the left of me, here's Halsey, and I had met Halsey in the past at Barley House, and Evie was DJing that night. So we were in the VIP, and we got cool with Halsey's manager, and he ended up giving us like a bunch of alcohol and stuff. So like it was cool. Like I had like partied with Halsey before, so I was like, oh, there's Halsey. That's cool. And I'm standing there at the bar next to her, and then I look to my right, and Tommy Lee comes up to the bar. I mean, there must be 15 people at the whole party at this point.
He there early.
Halsey and Tommy Lee are there, and they're both standing next to me at the bar. And I was like, dude, this is fucking nuts. So like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, I have my drink. I'm kind of walking around, kind of checking out the house. I'm looking for a bathroom, and I walk through this one door. And I look to my right, And there's Tommy Lee and his girlfriend, whose name is Brittany Furlan. I think she was big on Vine or some shit. And she's pretty well known as well. And I look in there, and there's a piano, and Tommy Lee is like going ham on the piano.
That ass.
And they didn't notice me walk in. But, like, I stood there. I kind of watched it for a couple seconds. I was like, that is cool as fuck. And then I was like, all right, where's the bathroom? I turned around and, walked out. But, like, to then watch The Dirt with MGK the other week and to see that, like, he used to play the piano on stage in front of fucking 20,000 people all over the world. You know what I mean? And that was, so cool.
You just, like, happily, like, walked in on him.
It was crazy, man.
Playing the piano.
Just doing him.
At
like,
MGK's house.
He's still a rock star, like, down to his, I mean, dude, he is a rock star to this day.
Yeah, MGK fit that role perfectly, man.
He did, man. It was perfect. And it was cool seeing MGK in a band like he is now. MGK is really, Machine Gun Kelly is like a band at this point.
For sure.
Cool seeing him in a band, not playing the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was the drummer.
He was like the funny dude on the side type shit.
On the side. And
but
it
like
was
still
so
killing
cool because in real life this guy is the Nikki Sixx or I feel like Nikki Sixx was really like kind of like one of like probably like the leader.
He was, yeah, because yeah, he was for sure.
So he's really like the Nikki Sixx of his own band. And it was so cool seeing that.
It was.
Yeah, so
also
crazy. The party man was like,
yeah, was the party lit and shit?
It was really really dope.
Evie killed it. I saw.
Evie did good. Kells performed a bunch of songs and shit. It was cool. Who else was there? Odell Beckham Jr. was there,
right.
And Michael B. Jordan was there.
Go Browns.
Marilyn Manson was there, which was kind of weird.
I saw that too.
Cool.
Didn't you take a picture?
I took a picture of him and Tommy Lee.
Yeah. That's right. I saw that.
That was cool. Logan and Jake Paul was there.
Yeah.
More Cleveland boys. There was a bunch of cool people there. It was really cool.
Wow. Best party you ever been to or what?
Well, it was. I mean, it depends on what you mean by best party. Like, I was turned, but you know what I mean. I've been more turned at parties or whatever.
Do you remember the whole?
I remember the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
I didn't want to look like an idiot.
If I would have blacked out, like that wouldn't have read.
No,
I wouldn't have remembered. I probably would have been
especially because Kel's manager Dre, like the beginning, like I had this drink in my hand and I was trying to take a picture and I kind of spilled it on myself. I wasn't even drunk. I might have had like 2 sips of alcohol the whole night. But he was like, "You gonna be good? That's a big drink." And like I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll be good. And I ended up being like, you know what I mean. I got a lot of really good content.
That's what's up.
So I killed it.
That's awesome. That's a great experience.
Yeah,
shit.
dude. And it was crazy, dude. Kells used my photo.
I know.
I saw
that.
Of his,
liked and commented that shit.
Yeah, man. As the front of his birthday post. Like the first picture was my picture, and that was like the week after Q. And it was like that was like also let me know like, hey man,
keep it going.
Like you still got it though.
Right.
Like you still good at what you do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you be taking some nice ass photos for sure, man. Wow. Yeah, I remember when he posted that pic. And you posted about it, and I was like, "Wow, he's hollering. That rates."
Yeah, man.
So like
Evie, dude, he was like, "Bro, you shouldn't have put that on your story, bro." I was like, man, like I was excited, dude, like,
right?
Because it was totally by chance. It was totally by chance. It was not meant
to happen. Did you send it to him, or it was just like by happen, like he saw it? Like,
he fucking saw it and must have fucking screenshotted it or some shit.
For sure. He definitely did that.
And whether it was on my shit or one of the fan accounts, because I had fan accounts, you know what I mean, screenshot my photos and posting them. So whatever it was my photo, and I know it was by chance.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. The journey you had, whatever it takes.
Yeah, man. You know and then, yeah, it was cool.
That's what's up. All right, we're gonna get into these 15 questions in 2 minutes.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna give you a couple accessories to wear, if that's cool.
Yes.
All right.
That's cool.
Just give me a second. Because of the NBA Finals, I'm gonna have you wear this Toronto jersey.
This is fresh.
Based off results.
I might have to take this home, bro. I might have to rock this on tour. No, I'm fucking around.
And I got you on this.
All right,
you don't mind putting this on?
Nope, that's a bet.
Little graduation cap.
When did you get this jersey?
I got that jersey.
It's Vince.
2 years ago. 2 years
Let's
ago.
see.
Vince Carter. That's who got the Canada basketball.
You know I ain't
dome.
graduated. I don't know which way to put this on, bro.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, and then just put this tie around your neck. Fuck it.
I did wear a tie at all grade school and high
Yeah.
school, so I know how to tie it.
All right, that reads perfect. So we got the Toronto jersey on, and we got 15 questions in 2 minutes. Usually, people try to get them done. You may not, but we will finish all 15. But if you get them all done, you get a prize at the end. Very few have done so, though.
All right, bet. Let's do
All
it.
right, so we're going to start the timer. You can answer as quick as possible or as long as possible. It doesn't matter. Answer however you want. And you could choose. No, you have to answer all of them.
All right, bet.
All right. Timer has started. Is LeBron the best ever?
Yes.
Favorite artist you listen to right now? Go into the car. You clicking this first.
Q money.
All right. Most lit tour memory. You kind of already talked about it, but
Most lit tour memory. Oh, dude, there's so many. In every city, there's so many. Oh shit. Dude, probably one of these strip club nights. Do I have to be specific about it?
No.
Alright.
However you want. Favorite NFL player of all time?
Ooh, shit. It changes, man. It changes all the
Still
time.
changes?
Shit.
Come on. Yeah, I know you got it.
Well, the last one that I remember being my favorite, even though he's not anymore, is
Baker?
LaDainian Tomlinson, but
Okay.
it might be it's shaping out to be Baker Mayfield.
Right. Baker maybe within the next year probably for
Yeah.
favorite city you've traveled to?
Ooh, dude, so many. I have I have favorite cities for different reasons, but I'll say, all in all, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles,
Yeah.
for sure. That's one of my favorites too. If you ran into Kanye West tomorrow,
Yeah.
what would you say to him off bat?
What would I say to him?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd probably have to think about it longer than this, but I'd probably be like, yo, you mind if I get your picture? And go from there, you know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
and I don't want a picture with him. Let me just get your picture.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
So like not some of this. some
No,
of this?
no. Like, I'll take out my camera and
Yeah.
I'll just fucking
Edit
snap
it,
it,
make
bro.
it fire.
And then go from there. You know what I mean?
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, that'll break the
Yeah,
ice.
for sure. Most wild experience you had with a female on tour? And 2 minutes is up. But go ahead. You got 6.
Dude, we were savages.
Say less. If that's all you want to say,
Yeah,
that's
we
cool.
were savages.
Say less. Best type of advice received in life?
Dude, be persistent
Mhm.
is by far, like, whatever you're doing, persistence
Push.
persistence beats talent. It beats everything, man.
Say less.
Be persistent,
Say
bro.
less. Perfect. Worst sexual experience in 3 words.
What do you mean?
Just
Like,
describe your
it?
worst sexual experience in 3 words.
Dead starfish.
What the fuck?
Yep. If you know, you know.
Uh,
If you ever been with a dead starfish, bro, you know, bro.
that don't read. Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't.
Have you had a ghostly experience?
I thought I have, and I don't know how to explain them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I
Did it
if I
frighten
do.
you?
I was super scared one time. There's like been one that I cannot explain what the fuck happened. But I don't know, man. Ever since like I don't know, experimenting with like psychedelics.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's nobody just fucking hanging around. Like
yeah, I feel that too.
It's just so this whatever we're in, whatever this really is, like ultimately, like what this is leading to or whatever, like what you know what I mean? It's so fucking beyond what the fuck we can comprehend that I don't think that there's like dead people just hanging around.
Yeah, I feel that. I done had like a couple Next.
What was that?
All right. Celebrity crush.
Well, something, man. I'll tell you. I'll say their names too, but they're not really celebrities, but they're just famous Instagram models.
Okay.
It's not really a celebrity.
Yeah. You're right.
I love this girl, Sierra Sky.
Sierra Sky. Haven't heard of her.
Dude, you
She
need
big
to.
cold?
She is fire, and this girl, Taylor Jade, is fire.
Really? Is it Instagram models?
Yes, bro.
I'm not hip to either one. Damn.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Say less. Let's see. All right. So you had dinner. You're at dinner table, and you got to invite three people. Name those 3 people.
I mean, people like that. Are we at
You
dinner
know,
with somebody?
or anyone in the world.
Are we at dinner with somebody, or like do I construct the whole dinner?
You construct it.
All right. So I would take. Damn. Well, Q would be one of these people.
Okay.
I don't know if that really.
No, that reads for sure. That's one.
I would take. No, I can't. Because it'd lead nowhere.
What?
Like, if I was to take him out of, kind of cut this little part. If I take him out of jail.
I mean, fuck it, bro.
And then he goes back in like that. I'm like, damn, why did I fucking waste a spot on him?
No, I mean.
All right, if I had
whatever you had, it's whatever. It's whatever. Whoever you want. Matter of the circumstance.
I would go.
Could be an athlete. Could be, your mom. Could be your cousin. Your dog. Type shit.
Yeah, it would be
Baker Mayfield even.
Me and dude, me, my 2 parents, and Baker Mayfield.
See?
That is a great dinner right there.
So mom, Baker Mayfield in the middle, dad, and then you right here.
Yeah.
All right, that read. I like that. What's your favorite smell in the world?
Dude, my favorite smell is like. I'm looking at these candles over there because a lot of my favorite smells come from candles. And you got like 10 of them over there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's like some really good, like for real, like candles. Like if you get the right smelling candle, like I will fucking.
Bro, I love candles, dude. Like if like you said, if you get the right candle and you let it up, you can get the whole room smelling nice. Like,
man, I love.
Nothing like it.
The smell of pussy. No, man. Like dude. Oh shit! I was just with a girl today.
You be licking and shopping?
No, it was some ratchet shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Couldn't even do it?
Couldn't even do it.
You saying it was stanky?
Yes, man. It was musty as fuck.
Dang. That don't read.
No, that don't read.
You're not hitting her line no more, huh?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe maybe one of the nights on tour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Cleveland night, bro. I'm in her hood during the show.
Okay.
So I might have to
on
get her
some,
around.
quick shit. Yeah, fuck it. Wow. I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Oh no, it's
to
all
the
good.
fullest.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. Toilet paper, over or under? You know what that means? Like if it's on the roll and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Dude, I mean, I'm pretty sure it goes both ways.
It does go both ways.
Right.
It's either you pulling it from the top,
right.
or you like this. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, if I had to pick, the bottom, bro.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So scariest moment of your life that you could think of.
Scariest moment in my life. I mean, I had quite a few, obviously, but
we all did.
I remember there's this one when I was little that like hits me, bro. I was in a pool. I was in a Rocky River pool, bro. I was young.
Shit.
And I was swimming underwater. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just he just didn't see me. The pool was fucking crowded as shit. This fat motherfucker, man. He was like a little kid too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never seen him before or like nothing. Like we didn't have beef or nothing. I don't even think he had any friends there for real. But he fucking jumped in the pool and like onto my back.
Dang.
And I was underwater, and then I was like in serious fucking pain, and then so I like came to the top, and I could barely swim at the time. Like I was like kind of like practicing underwater swimming, you know what I mean? So like I was kind of like doggy paddling or whatever, like fucking flailing and shit, and like dude, I thought I was gonna drown.
Bro,
and like nobody
what?
was really looking
How
at
big
me, you
was
know
the
what I mean?
dude?
He was fucking fat. I mean,
Did
for a
he
little
know
kid,
that he did that?
I don't know. I didn't even have time to like think about it or look or turn. Like I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking drown right here. I'm like looking around and nobody even fucking notices me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck. So finally, like I started like grabbing people and I like monkey barred on people's shoulders to the side, and like people were like looking around like, what the fuck? Like, they didn't even fucking see me. I zoomed through and like finally got to the edge, but there was like a couple drowning stories like that. And one time I was on vacation and I was trying to like go from like one side to the other without like coming up.
Right.
And I fucking like just pushed, and I must have been like right fucking here to the wall. So like right when I pushed, I fucking hit this shit, and like my neck fucking went back, and like I almost broke my neck. And like when I came up, like my family was there, but nobody saw me. I'm under the water, so like they didn't even notice either. So like that was another time where I feel like
How old were you?
This was like I was probably like in high school at some point, like maybe like a freshman or maybe like
you got rocked.
And I got rocked. Like dude, my whole face was scratched. And
Bitch
like
jumped on you though.
Yeah, man. Like in the water stories of like almost fucking drowning, dude. That's gotta be like one of the worst deaths. That's why I'm
you
talking about
struggling for sure. Yeah, I've been scared a couple times in the water, for sure. Just like on some like stay under too long, or you know what I'm saying, like you got jumped on by a big old dude.
By a fucking fat ass kid, man.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's all the questions. Probably gonna close it up unless you want to say your last couple words. Go ahead.
Bet, man. Well, shit.
In the graduating cat, you know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. If I have anything to say, man, if I died on the fucking drive home, man, for real, like, it would be to fucking follow your dreams with persistence, bro. Like,
we heard it 2 or 3 times.
And don't let anybody tell you shit, man.
Yep.
Nobody.
Just keep pushing. Keep doing what you gotta do. Don't worry about how the reaction is. Don't worry about what people say. Don't matter. If you're passionate towards something, be persistent, like he said. Ryan Spicer, Lukewarm Soda. We are closing out. Lukewarm. Stay
Peace.
golden.
Work. Try me, you get murk.